All right, well, we'll start seated together. And I'm going to sit up on my blanket. If you want to sit some other way, feel free to do it. Whatever feels appropriate. And I noticed I just put my habitual leg forward. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to put my non-habitual leg forward, only because I noticed. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. And when I do, I try to switch it. Hands onto the upper thighs, little press down, lean forward. Oh, it's funny. You'd think the heat would loosen us up, and it does, but I feel like I also get more, because of the humidity, there's more like inflammation in the joints. And I don't even know that it's inflammation. I think part of it is because our blood vessels are getting a little wider in this heat and humidity, that there is a little bit more of that feeling of tightness, right? The swelling can come up a lot during this time of the year, especially when we have such a hot heat wave. All right, let's go side to side. Press down on one leg, lean away, turn to look up at the sky. Gorgeous. Back through center, over to the other side. Take your time, right? That's one of the biggest lessons I learn every year in the summer, is that it does not help anything to be in a rush. Right? Easy to be a rush when it's cold out. You've got extra capacity, but when it's hot, it's like, oh, don't frustrate yourself. Coming back to neutral a couple of times, running the heels of the hands from the hip towards the knee, working your way around the thigh. Nice. And then give yourself a little lift. Hands at the side ribs, lifting yourself up out of the bowl of your pelvis. Little turn. Side to side, nothing big, nothing dramatic, more about mobility than actual end point, right? We're not trying to turn as far as we can. We're just seeing what's available. Gorgeous. Coming back to neutral as it feels good. Inhale the arms up just above shoulder line. Turn the palms of the hands towards the sky, and then draw the shoulder blades towards each other across the back. Reaching strongly through the fingernails, lift the gaze. Nice. Big inhale here. And then as you exhale, float the hands down to the lap, palms of the hands open, right? That's one of the spaces that we can release excess heat from the body. Chin dips slightly. If you can close the eyes, if you feel safe and comfortable to do that, go ahead. Going inside. So it seems obvious when we're outside on a sunny day to seek out shade, right? To go into a less sunny part of our yard or wherever we are. Maybe you switch to the shady side of the street when you're walking. But what we don't always realize is that we can also give ourselves shade just by closing the eyes. Right? The eyes have a lot of fire element inherent in them, right? It's part of how we can see and understand. And so the simple act of closing the eyes when we feel overheated can be such a simple and useful way to calm, cool ourselves down. Descend the tailbone. Lift the abdomen up and back gently, not a strong action, all about support, not about kind of grit or anything like that, not today. And then lift and spread the collarbones, unfurl the sail of the chest, shoulder blades down the back. Nice, palms open and receptive, cooling us off. Then drop the bottom jaw away from the top jaw, relax the throat, soften the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, relax the eyes in their sockets. And then go to the space between the eyebrows, release any tension there, and really think about letting the eyebrows spread. Left eyebrow to the left, right eyebrow to the right. And smooth out the skin of the forehead. Relax the skin at the temples, soften the inner ears. And then notice that you're breathing. Long, full, steady inhalation. Complete exhalation. Just allowing yourself to be there. Let everything else fall away. Anything that happened before now, anything that might happen after now, just let it drop to the side. Let it be about this next breath. Beautiful. From here, take the hands together in front of the heart. Palm against palm, fingers elongated. Lift the sternum to meet the base of the thumbs. Broaden the collarbones. Preparing for sound. I'm going to chant the sound of Om 3 times, and then our invocation. Go ahead, exhale fully. Let go of all the breath you currently have. And then inhale fully to begin. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, bring the chin towards the chest. Nice. Release the hands to the lap. Take a moment just to notice what you might need, what feels useful. And then fluttering the eyelids open on an inhalation, you can raise the gaze. And again, the invitation is to look wide. Look away from your screen for a moment. Look outside if you can. Look at art if you have it. Finding something beautiful to rest your eyes on for a moment. And then bringing ourselves back into the screen. Let's use the hands to help the legs up. Take a moment just to iron out hip to ankle. Just opening up the backs of the legs. Maybe a little forward bend comes into the situation. Nice. And then we're going to set up for Supta Padangusthasana. That's where this all starts out. So I've got my bolster if you have it. If not, you could use 2 blankets. If you don't have 2 blankets, you could just be on the floor with head support. Don't be fussy about it. Not today. And then I'm using a blanket that I've folded in half and in half again. So I've got what I call the bloop. I know, it's very scientific. And I've got that for my head. Got my 2 blocks ready to go. One on either side. And then I'm turning around to have my back to my bolster or my blanket or whatever you're using. And then if you are using a bolster, there's 2 schools of thought. Some folks really like the bolster to be at the edge of the sacrum. Others like it to be up into the shoulder blades. You're kind of going to figure that out on your own. I feel like it's a personal sort of situation. And then I come to lay back, making sure that my head support is at the back of my neck as well as my head. Head is in a position where the forehead is higher than the chin. So make sure there's that little bit of elevation. Then soles of the feet come together, knees come out to the side. I've got my blocks at an angle. You can titrate how much support. Closer to the hip, more support. Closer to the knee, less support, right? It's just physics. If you can, you have the blocks at an angle so that your leg isn't sitting on that kind of hard edge. And then a couple of options for the arms. Don't take them overhead yet. We're going to get to that in a different pose, but you could either rest the arms by your side, and because it's warm, the arms might be closer to shoulder height. Or if you've been feeling very overwhelmed lately, you need to kind of contain yourself a little bit more. You might rest the elbows on the earth and then let the hands fall onto the abdomen. You might try out both and see which one feels more like what you need. And then relax the throat, relax the jaw, relax the eyes down and back. Perhaps they're closed. And then we're coming to the breath, the inhalation, the exhalation. But for today, I'd like your emphasis to be on the exhalation. Because I know it seems a little counterintuitive, but the exhale is actually the cooling part of the breath. I know you're probably saying, but Veronica, when I breathe in, I feel a cooling sensation in my nose or my mouth when I breathe in. And that's true. But the exhale actually helps to release the heat from the body, right? We release some modicum of heat on the exhalation. And it's not that the inhale is taking in heat, but it's not considered the cooling part, right? It's not actually releasing anything. Emphasis on the exhalation might just mean trying to make it a little bit longer than the inhalation today. And interestingly, when it's warm like this, we don't necessarily want to do ujjayi breath, right? That little bit of friction can be warming. If the brain feels very busy, you might even just give yourself a little bit of a mantra. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. Something I had learned from Annie, but she reminded me yesterday that it actually comes from Thich Nhat Hanh. Couple more moments here, really allowing yourself to drop in. And then from here, you'll bring your hands to your outer thighs, help your knees back together slowly, slowly. And then one at a time, extend the legs onto the earth. Just pausing here. Might feel interesting to take the head a little to the left, a little to the right, especially if there's tension in the neck. And bringing the head back to neutral, take 3 full breaths before we shift. So our setup is going to remain the same. We're going to do our Supta Swastikasana, bending the knees one at a time. Feet come to the floor. We're going to step the left foot towards the center of the mat. Step the right foot over the left foot. And then you're on the outer edges of the feet as you heel toe your feet towards the edges of the mat. And at some point, you'll have to insert your blocks at the outer thighs again, so it's a cross-legged position. Feet aren't really flexed, but they're not pointed, so you're on the outer edge of the foot. And again, the blocks are at an angle, so you can get that support without discomfort. Gorgeous. And then we will work with the arms here, lifting the arms up towards the sky. We've got the right shin in front, so the left forearm is going to be on top as you bend the elbows, taking opposite hand to opposite forearm. And then you'll either take the forearms to the forehead, especially if you're protecting tissue of the body in any way. Or some of you will find that you can take the arms clear over the crown of the head, and they might even land on your support. Notice the tendency to lift the chin here. Draw the chin back down towards the chest. We want to maintain that length in the back of the neck. And now, if at any point this arm position becomes uncomfortable and you're not on the forehead, you could try the forehead. And if that's still not working for you, right, you get to a point where you've hit your limit, so to speak, then you always can just release the arms back down to the floor. And we have an opportunity here to work with the breath in a bigger way, right? We're opening up the upper lobes of the lungs. Take advantage. Notice, did the jaw clench again? Could you drop the bottom jaw away from the top jaw? Couple, 2, 3 more breaths. And then on your next exhalation, release the arms out and down to the sides. Pause. Pause and notice, right? Curiosity is there. Right? Each stage of entering and exiting poses are their own event. Then hands to the outer thighs, draw your knees together. And when you feel ready, you can extend the legs again, one at a time. Notice if anything's shifting. Might be physical or energetic. And then we'll do that much to the second side, bending both knees. This time the right foot comes to the center of the mat, left foot steps over, and then we heel toe the feet out. Now it's a different side, it might require different support, right? So notice where the blocks want to be. Once the legs are situated, lift the arms towards the sky, bending the elbows. Now it's the right forearm that's on top. And then either forearms to the forehead or clear over the crown of the head. And just notice, I mean, when we take the arms up and over, there is a natural tendency to lift the chin. See if that happened to you. And if so, can you draw the chin back down towards the chest? Relax the belly. We are soaking in these poses. Then on your next exhalation, releasing the arms down to the sides. Pause. Breathe. And then hands to the outer thighs, help the knees together one at a time, extend the legs. Again, that opportunity to pause, the opportunity to breathe, to notice, to feel whatever's shifting. And then we still have a little bit of work here on the floor, but we have to change our setup. So we're going to bend our knees, roll to one side, take your time. You're going to roll off of your support, use your hands to help yourself up, help yourself out. We don't need the bolster anymore, or at least not right now. We will need our blanket, a block, and a strap. We're going to stretch out the legs in Supta Padangusthasana, which is another great series to release heat. So I've got my blanket set up for head support. I come back and down. I've got my strap nearby, my block nearby. Coming to active rest. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Any little actions that feel interesting, feel free to take them. You might rock your pelvis a little side to side. You might take your head a little side to side. You might pick up and replace body parts. Right? I encourage you to kind of follow your intuition here and see what the body wants to do. Maybe you're picking the feet up, the pelvis, right? There's no wrong answer. Go ahead and make sure your block is at the outer right hip, so nice flat block, ready to go. Then on an exhale, we'll draw the right knee towards us and scoop the foot up in the strap, extending the leg up towards the sky. Don't be in a hurry to extend the left leg yet. Let's stay with the right leg for a moment. So strap is on the ball of the foot, elbows bent slightly out to the sides of the room. I'm holding up as high as I can on the strap without the shoulder blades coming off the earth. And then I really want you to think about the earth element in the body. So let there be ample earth element in the back of the right hip. That means you're making the right hip very heavy. That might take the right leg away from you a little bit. That's fine. Shoulder blades down the back, back of the neck nice and long. Really open up the back of the right knee, but don't let the front of the right thigh dump onto the front of the right hip bone, right? We want to create a little space there at the frontal groin. And again, that might mean the leg needs to go a little further away. That's okay. You don't get a prize for putting your toes into your mouth, no matter what they've told you. All right, from here, we'll go ahead and now extend that left leg onto the floor. Move it to the left an inch or two. Give yourself a little space to have a pelvis. And then think of rolling the inner left heel down to the ground. So there's this little intention of the inner left heel towards the earth. Then both straps go into the one hand, the right hand has the strap. Left arm reaches out to the left, palm of the hand is down. We're inhaling to get long, then exhaling to take this right leg out and down to the right. Immediately, I'm going to slide my right hand down to the strap so I can take my elbow to the floor. This is going to give me a little bit more support. It's going to cause there to be a little less work in the body, keeping that heat level down. Everyone directs the tailbone towards the inner left heel, back of the neck. I know I'm a broken record. From the belly button down, I want you to think of moving the abdomen from left to right. You'll feel that inner right thigh get a little bit longer. From the abdomen up, so belly button up, upper abdomen, we're rolling from right to left, and those outer left ribs might come a little closer to the floor. You're still pressing gently the back of that left leg into the earth. Back of the neck remains long. I know I keep saying it because I feel as I'm here, my shoulder blades trying to creep up the back of my neck, right? It just happens so quickly. We have to stay on top of it. And then take several long, steady breaths here. Really let yourself soak in this pose. Right? We get this opportunity to just inhabit. And it might be that the eyes close. That's okay. Right? We're finding that cooling action. Nice full inhale here. Then on the exhale, we take the leg back to neutral. Spread those straps out between both hands. Once again, you're going to take the leg a little towards you, a little away. Little towards you, little away. Then exhale, release the foot from the strap. Both legs on the floor. You might have to move your block out of the way for a moment. Arms are wherever they feel comfortable. If you feel like you need a little extra reassurance in your life, you might have your hands at your lower frontal ribs. Others, they might just be out to the sides. Take several breaths here. Again, we're just tasting a little bit of Shavasana, getting a little taste of this relaxation, right? Trying to keep that thread moving through our practice today. Then we can move the block to the second side. We'll do all of that again. Bending both knees, right foot comes to the floor. Give yourself the same opportunity on the second side as you draw the left knee into the chest, placing the strap over the ball of the foot, and then lengthening the leg up towards the sky. Again, earth element in the back of that left hip draws it down towards the floor, yawning open the back of the knee. Might feel interesting again to take the head a little side to side. Gorgeous. Then we're extending that right leg onto the floor. Right leg moves to the right an inch or two. Inner right heel is heavy. Back of right thigh is heavy. Left leg is long. Shoulder blades are dropping down and back. Long, full, steady inhalations, complete exhalations. Then, as you feel ready, both sides of the strap into the left hand. Right arm reaches out to the right. Palm of the hand is down. We inhale for length, then we exhale to move. Left leg moves out and down to the left, and then we slide the left hand down the strap to bring the elbow to the floor. Gorgeous. And then assess the abdomen. Can you roll the lower abdomen to the left, upper abdomen to the right? It's not a terribly strong action. It's just that little intention. Little intention of the body. Working with we could call them landmarks, right? The anatomical landmarks. And then come back into the breath, breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Don't let the mind take off onto some errand. Right? That's not what we're doing right now. Another deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bringing the leg back to neutral, spreading the straps out, take the leg a little towards you, a little away, a little towards you, a little away, then exhale. Slip the foot out of the strap, both legs on the floor. Again, hands might be on the lower rib cage, they might be on the belly, or the arms might just be out to the side. Getting this little amuse-bouche of Shavasana, allowing the body to relax, release, descend, surrender, pick your word. Then one at a time, bend the knees, bring the knees back up into your chest and rock a little side to side. Oh, it's so nice to massage the back body against the earth. And then hands on the bent knees, steering the knees around in a circle, a few times in one direction, a few times in the other. Another way to massage. Then last but not least, take the feet to the ground as wide as your yoga mat, arms out in a T shape, backs of the hands are on the floor. We're going to take the knees and the head in opposition. And I really want to invite you to linger. If any way here on the journey from side to side feels particularly useful, you hang out, right? You hang out. I like to inhale as I go through neutral, exhale one side or the other. Then maybe you take a bonus breath as you're on one side or the other. Nice. And then when you feel ready, you'll roll all the way to your favorite side. Then use the hands to help yourself up, help yourself out. So I've got good news and bad news. The good news is we only have a couple of poses to do in a standing position, but the bad news is that we are indeed going to come to standing. So you might choose to do that through downward facing dog. You might choose to do that through just coming through a child's pose and tucking your toes under and coming through a forward bend. You might choose to come up and do a quick L shape at a counter or a wall. I'm going to go through downward dog myself. And so if you want to come with me, you'd put your pinky fingers at the edges of the mat, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, and then immediately walk the feet as wide as the mat. And then I'm pushing the floor away to lengthen the tailbone nice and tall. Drawing my heel bones back and down to the floor as best I can. Pressing the full circumference of the palm of the hand into my body, I tend to get light around the space between the thumb and the index finger. Maybe that's what's happening for you as well. Gorgeous. Then as I feel ready, I can step the feet forward, coming to my standing forward bend. And I have to say, in my body in the humidity, it doesn't like to be in a full Uttanasana, because when I take my head below my heart, I feel a little whooshing, a little pressure in the head, and that's very common this time of year. And so if that's happening to you as well, I'd like you to put your elbows on your thighs and keep your head at the level of your heart. Right? That's going to release any pressure that's coming into the head. It's going to keep your blood pressure more balanced and even. Gorgeous. Take another breath here, lengthening the back of the neck wherever you've ended up. And then thumbs in the hip creases. Hook the thumbs back to lengthen the spine. Press the heels into the earth. Inhale and come to standing. Gorgeous. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Give yourself some mobility there. Yes. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Parsvottanasana. It's my favorite standing pose when it's hot out, because it's not a lot of work, and it's a good stretch for the legs and the torso, and yet we're not building a ton of heat. So I've got my two tall blocks at the top of my mat. Okay, taking your hands to your hips. Let's find Tadasana. Why not? Big toe ball mound, outer heel, navel back, tailbone heavy. Don't lock the knees, right? But think of lifting the pelvis up and away from the feet as you drop the heel bones down into the earth. Nice. And then we're going to start with the left side. Why not? Left foot forward, right foot back. Right foot turns out slightly. Now you're deciding based on your balance today whether you're going to have tightrope or railroad tracks. So railroad tracks means that your feet are a little bit wider from right to left. You've got a little bit more space laterally. Tightrope means just what it says. You're on a little tightrope, which means that your front heel is going to intersect your back heel. Okay, so you figure out which one works for you. And then with the hands on the hips, you square the hips towards the front of your mat. And then I want you to notice that back knee is probably trying to bend. I want you to really press that back heel down. So that right foot, it's like it's sinking into wet sand. Draw the pubic bone to the belly button slightly, lift up through the crown of the head. Then as you feel ready, inhale the arms up towards the sky. Reach up, maybe if balance allows you, look up. Then as you exhale, you hinge at the hips. Hands come to the blocks underneath your shoulders. If the blocks feel too low today, you could always take the seat of a chair. Then again, address that right foot. Are you still pressing the outer heel down, down, down? And then a couple of tricks with this left hand and this left leg. First one is to take the left hand underneath the left knee to the top of the shin bone. I want you to press the shin into the hand as you press the hand into the shin. You'll feel the muscles hug to the bone of that left leg, but the knee won't lock, which is exactly what we want. Gorgeous. Then hook your left thumb into your left hip crease and hook the hip back as you lengthen your torso forward, getting the heart to move away from the belly button. Then take your left hand back to your left block. Gorgeous. Meanwhile, back at the right foot. Can you still have consciousness there? And then instead of going down today, we're going to go forward, but we're going to keep the right heel rooted as we start to walk the blocks forward any amount. And so I'm keeping my head above the line of the biceps, but I'm trying to get as long as I can without becoming unrooted in that right leg. Gorgeous. We have to take the heart forward slightly. Nice. It's a big stretch in that left leg, I know. Then walking our way back, coming up halfway. Hopefully there's no dizziness, no pressure. Hands to the hips. I want you to think of pushing the left foot forward, right foot back. That's going to give you nice stability. Inhale to lengthen the torso. Then exhale, navel to spine. Pulls us back up to standing. Gorgeous. Turn the feet parallel. Walk or jump the feet back together. Good job. And then roll the shoulders. Just give yourself a moment. If you need to make any movements with the legs. Sometimes I like to roll up to the toe and back down to stretch the calf, to stretch the foot. Right? Sometimes we do that as a balance exercise, but it can be nice to let go of tension in the legs that way as well. And then I'm moving my blocks to the other side so you can see the active leg, but you can stay facing whatever direction you're already in. Feet directly underneath the hips. Find your Tadasana again, hands on the hips, big toe ball mound, outer heel, soften the knees, reach through the crown of the head, shoulder blades move towards each other, navel moves back. Oh, I know, all these little things. And then we're stepping the right foot forward, left foot back, left foot turns out slightly. You're finding your railroad or your tightrope. Pressing the feet strongly. Really want to think about that back left heel. Push, 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 push. That's the leg you want to try and lock. It's not going to lock, but you want to try and lock it. And then from there, inhale the arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come to the blocks directly underneath the shoulders or the seat of a chair. Nice. And then our tricks, right? We got to do the little things. Palm of the right hand to the top of the right shin, just below the knee. Push the shin into the hand, hand into the shin. Feel how that engages everything in that leg. Now maintain it. Don't lose it as you take the right thumb to the hip. Hook the hip and lengthen the frontal plane of the spine. Nice. Hugging the muscles to the bone. Maintaining the length of the spine. Right hand comes back to the blocks. And then we're just walking them forward as far as we can without losing the anchor of the left heel. Without locking the right knee. Right, we're finding all the length we can. Can we move the heart away from the belly button just a little bit more? Taking another breath here. How is it in that back left heel? And then walking the blocks back underneath the shoulders. Gorgeous. This is where we're pressing right foot forward, left foot back. Hands come to the hips. Inhale for length. Exhale, use the abdominal area to help you come back up. Then turn the feet parallel. Walk the feet back together. Nice. Last standing pose, Prasarita Padangusthasana. You probably expected it because it's another really nice heat releasing pose. So now I turn to face the long edge of my mat, and then I take my feet wide. My hands are on my blocks, so I'm already down. Right? Staying close to the earth. Turning the big toes towards each other slightly, suction cup the outer edge of the foot. You'll feel the inner arches lifting. And then give yourself a moment. Let the weight go towards the toes. Let the weight go towards the heels. And then find that place in between. Hug the kneecaps onto the thighs. Spin the inner thighs towards the wall behind you. And then just like we were doing in our other pose just a moment ago, we're walking the arms forward. Parshvottanasana, that's where we were. Sorry, brain went on the fritz. That happens in the heat. I know, what's my excuse? The other other 3 seasons. Hands go forward. You're pressing the palms of the hands strongly. So again, we're finding that length. Finding that length as best we can. Kneecaps up, up, up. Legs are strong so the torso has length. And then we're walking the blocks back in. We can set up a platform for the head unless we're having lots of pressure in the head like I am. And then I'm going to set up my 2 tall blocks on top of each other to create a little height for the forehead. So I'm not taking my head all the way down, because in my body, I get a lot of pressure in my head when I do that in this heat. So build whatever platform you need. You could also take the seat of a chair in front of you. Use that. There's really no rules. As long as you're not feeling any discomfort. But letting the head rest now on something. Don't release the work of the legs though. We still have to have that stability there. Those of you that the head is down, well, actually everyone can do this. Think of sliding your shoulder blades towards your back pockets as the back of the neck lengthens. Nice. And then coming up halfway. So I straighten the arms, and then I'm going to heel toe my feet in until I can gently lower myself back down to the floor. Now, for the second part of our inversion, you might decide to go gentle today with just 1 flat block. You could also do 2 medium blocks side by each, or 2 flat blocks on top of each other. Then we're coming down onto our back body. Nothing underneath the head this time, just the sticky mat and the earth. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, hips distance apart and parallel, elbows in close to the body. Press the feet, inhale, lift the hips, slide your block or blocks under, right? So the sacrum is resting. We're pausing here, Setu Bandha. Pausing here. Gorgeous. Feet are heavy, tailbone lengthening. I like to press the elbows into the earth again to dome the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other and down the back. And then you can release the arms to the floor, palms of the hands upright. So once you release the arms to the floor, if you can turn the palms to the sky, it's best. And then exhaling, knees in towards the chest. Inhaling, feet up towards the sky. Gorgeous. And we're looking for that perfect perpendicularity where the ankles are over the knees, over the hips. Upper outer arms are heavy. Don't lose the doming of the chest. Keep pressing. Soften the jaw, the teeth, the tongue. These inversions are so good when it's warm out. We literally reverse the kind of pattern of blood pooling in the legs, right? Because so the mechanism behind it, I don't know that you care, but I think it's helpful to know, is when it's so hot and humid, our blood vessels dilate. And so that's why people get more swelling in the feet, especially the hands. And it's because there's less pressure, right? Because the vessels are now bigger. And so getting to be upside down allows the blood to return in the other direction. And so you don't necessarily have to do it in the center of the room like we're doing it now. You could do legs up the wall. You could do legs up the side of the bed, the couch, whatever you have. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly exhale, bend the knees. Then if you can bring them down simultaneously, let's inhale as both feet come back to the earth. Again, pause. Then press the feet down, lift the hips. If you've got 2 blocks, take one out. If you're still on 1 block, just keep it. So 1 block under the pelvis now, then we'll extend the legs for our Supta Padangusthasana. Right, for our kind of shoulder stand-like shape. And I'm pressing the backs of my heels into the earth, rolling the big toes towards each other, pressing my elbows. Right, I can dome the chest, dome the whole body now from the throat to the ankle. The feeling, the sensation is almost like you were going to gather the pelvis up off your block, but you don't actually do that. Nice, and then bending the knees one at a time, press the feet, take the block out, roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Exhale, draw the knees back in, a little rocking side to side. And then I want us to end similar to how we began, back in our Baddha Konasana, this time taking the soles of the feet together, reaching through with the hands to catch the ankles. Nice, and letting the knees open wide. Heels move towards the pelvis, outer shoulder blades heavy, back of the neck long. And then this is an opportunity, because the arms are being traction, the shoulders are being traction a little bit, that you could take the head side to side and get rid of any tension that might be trying to creep in there. Nice. Head back to neutral. We can scoop the knees back together, and we'll set up for Shavasana. And this is my suggestion. Definitely head support for everyone. And then we've got our blocks we can use behind our thighs. And if you have a bolster or a second blanket, if you don't have a bolster, you can lay it on top of you. And so if I just had a blanket, I might fold it up and just put it over my abdomen and the tops of my thighs. And you're welcome to do that with the bolster as well. Take it horizontal. Or if you've got the bolster and you want to go for it, you can take it lengthwise down your torso from your sternum to your pelvis. And that can be kind of nice. It's a very reassuring, grounding situation. It's so important to invoke the earth element during these kind of heat waves, because it helps to keep us cool and grounded, right? Think of earth. It's not hot. I know it can feel like that when the fire element of the sun is acting on it, but earth in and of itself is not a warm or even slightly warm element. Arms to the side, chin towards the chest. Let's open the mouth wide. Stick the tongue out. Stretch the jaw, stretch the tongue, stretch the mouth. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Nice. And then draw the tongue back into the mouth. Bring just the lips back to touch. And then let go yourself completely. Let loose yourself completely. Let yourself rest here now in stillness and silence, knowing now there's nothing to do. Letting one strand of your awareness come back to hear my voice. If you feel like you'd like more Shavasana, you want to just stay where you are, go for it. There's no need to get up. Right? If you're really in a nice sweet spot, don't change anything. Others, you're ready to move or you're time bound in some way. And if that's you, I want you to start deepening the breath. Deepening the breath, coming back to the surface of the body. Maybe bringing movement back to the fingers, back to the toes, the ankles and the wrists. And then as you feel ready on an exhalation, gather the knees back up into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Hug yourself like you would hug your very, very best friend. And then on an exhalation, I want you to roll today to your left side if you can. Rolling to the left side. The left side is the lunar side, the cooling side, the passive side. And then head's going to be the last thing to arrive. Eyes remain closed, but as you feel ready, use your hands to help push yourself back up to a seated position. Tailbone descending, crown of head ascending, get long. Then take the hands together in front of the heart. Palm against palm, fingers elongated. Lift the sternum to the base of the thumbs, broaden the collarbones, and on an exhalation, let the chin move forward, let the chin move down. Bowing to the seat of the soul. Bowing to the seat of the self, with all its divine beauty. The light in me is deeply honored by your light, grateful for your practice, and humbled by your presence. And in case no one's told you yet today, I love you, and I'm convinced of your capacity to continue crafting a life worth living. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. Good job, everybody.